we have to look at the measures of central tendency, which includes the mode, the median, and the mean. The mode is a score that occurs the highest number of times. Given the following data, we are asked to look for the mode. We earlier stated that the mode is a score that occurs the highest number of times. So I look here and I find that 2 occurs 3 times, and which is the highest number of times. So our mode here is 2. The score 2 occurs the highest number of times. So let's say we're given some other kind of data like this. What would be the mode here? So the entry that occurs the highest number of times, you find here that C occurs the highest number of times. So the mode here is C. So this is sample GCE question. Here from the graph, we're asked to look for the mode. So we can see from the graph that the highest frequency belongs to the score 2. So our mode is 2. 2 goals were scored, they match. That's what the graph tells us. Let's look at this other question. In a small factory, there are 5 grades of workers whose monthly salaries are as follows. Find the modal wage. So we look down there at the frequencies. We find that we have highest number of workers, that is 12, who earn a salary of 24,000. So the modal wage will be the 24,000 francs. Let's look at this other question. A survey was conducted in a certain village in which the weights to the nearest kilogram of all children of ages less than 16 years were recorded. We're asked to find the modal weight. We start by observing the frequencies. We find that the highest frequency there is 22, and this belongs to the weight range from 21 to 25. So our modal weight there is 21 to 25 kilogram. We now look at the next measure of central tendency, which is the median. The median is the middle score where the scores are arranged in increasing or decreasing order. Let's say we are given the following data: 2, -1, 3, 4, 2, 0, 5, 2, 3. And we are asked to look for the median. We start by rearranging the terms in increasing order. So here I have -1, 0, 2, 2, another 2, 3, another 3, 4, 5. So how many entries are there? There are 9 entries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the term that is in the middle is our median. So the fifth term will be the median. So median here is equals to 2. In general, to get the position of the median, we use the formula n plus 1 times half. So this gives us the position. So the median is at the n plus 1 divided by 2 position. So what does that mean here? N stands for the number of terms. Here I have 9. So I'll say position will be equals to 9 plus 1 times half, which gives us half of 10, which is equals to 5. So the median is a term at the 5th position in this data, which is equals to 2. So if we are given this data and asked to look for the median, so what do we do? We find here that the terms are already arranged in increasing order. Here we need to know the position of the median. So I count the number of terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 terms there. So my median is position. Position of median will be the term at the 8 plus 1 times half position. So this will give me half of 9, which is equals to 4.5. So the term at the 4.5 position is our median. So I count here 1, 2, 3, 4. So the term that lies in the middle there. So what is that term that lies in the middle? I'll need to take the average of these two values. So my median there will be equals to 7 plus 8 divided by 2, which will give me 7.5. That's the median. So how do I get the median of data that have been summarized in the frequency table? So I'll need to create another column here for what is called the cumulative frequency. And how do we get cumulative frequency? We add the frequencies as we move down. So let me write here cumulative frequency. So I have here 2. 2 plus 5 gives me 7. 7 plus 5 gives me 12. 12 plus 8 gives me 20. 20 plus 4 gives me 24. 24 plus 5 gives me 29. It gives me 30. Gives me 31. It gives me 34. So now, I use my general formula to find the position of the median. There are 34 terms there. That is what our cumulative frequency tells us. So now, I'll say position will be equals to 34 plus 1 divided by 2. So this is half of 35, which is equals to 17.5. So the term at the 17.5 position. So now I look at my cumulative frequencies as I move downwards. So right here now so after counting all the 2's, I am at the 2nd position. So this is the 7th position after adding all the 10's, 7th position. After adding all the 11's, I am at the 12th position. So at the 12th position, after adding all the 12's, I am at the 20th position. So this tells me that the 17th position should be on the score 12. So this is how I get my median. The median there will be equals to 12, which is this score. We now look at the 3rd measure of central tendency, which is the mean. The mean is obtained by adding the scores and dividing by the total number of scores. So given this data, and we're asked to look for the mean, what do we do? The mean is the sum of the score divided by the number of scores. So what will be the sum of the score here? So I'll add 5 plus 7 plus 13 plus 14 plus 21 divided by the number of scores. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 entries. So mean will be equal, so when we add all of this, we have 60 divided by 5. This will give us 12. So the mean of this data is 12. Okay, here we are given information that has been summarized in a frequency table. And we are asked to find the mean of this data. So we know that our mean so you can actually figure out what this summarized data means. So it means that there are 2 5s, there are 5 10s, there are 5 11s, and all like that. So to get the sum of the 5s, we just multiply. So I have to create a new column here for the product of score times frequency. X stands for score and S stands for frequency. So multiply. This gives me 10. So this gives me 50. This gives me 55. This gives me 96. This gives me 52. This gives me 70. This is 17. 19. 60. So now, what is the sum? The sum of the frequencies give us the number of scores. So sum here of frequency. How many scores are there? So this should be, adding all of it gives us 34. So there are 34 entries or scores in that data. So if I sum the product of the score and their frequencies, sum of the product of score and frequency gives us 429. So now, our mean will be equals to the sum of the product between score and frequency all over the sum of the frequency. So this is equal to 429 divided by 34. Our mean is equals to 12.617. How do we calculate the mean of group data? So let's say we have been given this data that has already been summarized in a frequency table. So remember we said to get the mean, we divide the sum of scores all over the number of scores. For data on the frequency table, we had the sum of the scores, that is the sum of the product of the score times frequency divided by the total number of scores. So now, how can we get the product between the score and the frequency? We need to calculate another entry that we call the class average. Class average or center. So how do I get a class center? I will add the lower value plus the upper value and divide by 2. So if I do this here, I'll have 52.5. So 56 plus 61 divided by 2. So what is that? This is 7. 117 divided by 2. What will that give us? So this will be 58.5. Alright, 58.5 there. So what will this be? This will be 64.5. This will be 70.5. So these are the class centers. And now write out the frequencies. Frequency, copy out the frequencies. So this occurs 5 times. 27 times, 25 times, and 3 times. So I need another column for the product between the class center and the frequency. So when I multiply this, it gives me 262.5. This, multiply this by this, gives 1579.5. Multiply this and this, gives me 1612.5. Multiply this and this, gives us 211.5. So the sum of my frequencies there is equals to 60. The sum of the product between the class center and the frequency gives me 3660. The mean is the sum of the class center and frequency divided by the sum of the frequency. So that will be equals to 3600 divided by 60. So that will be equals to 61.6. Let's say it was measured in kilograms. The answer will be 61.6 kilograms. So this is how we work out the mean of group data.